There we go. Well, I sit back a bit here. I'm not the greatest at typing, but I don't mind sharing a couple of stories. And, one story that comes to mind is one night there was about five of us at Smooth Herman's, and I believe it was Derek Legg. Might have been Perkins, but I think it was Derek Legg's wagon at the time had gotten stolen from Upper Prince Street. And the fool came down Welton and right out Kings Road. And, well, we saw the car go by, but we didn't know it was stolen. Never seen who was driving it. And a few minutes later, it comes across the air that it's stolen and that the police are chasing it out Kings Road. So a few of us take off after it. And I can't remember his last name, but the constable's name was Reggie, his first name, and I forget his last name. But anyway, we were just out in Sydney River there, and I was catching up to him, and I was alongside of Reggie, and I was reached across my seat, rolling down my window to talk to him, and I was keeping nice and steady. He's trying to roll down his window, and he's swerving back and forth. He couldn't do it. But finally he gets it rolled down, and I asked him, I says, do you want me to go catch that car? And he laughed at me. He said, yeah, if you can. At the time I had a 350 Rocket double 4-barrel on her and headers. Don't know why we bothered doing that up for a cab, but we did. And so I put her to the floor. When I did, the tires squealed and off I went. Got out, caught up to him about Sydney Forks, I guess, and then when I got to Howie Center, I was able to force him off the road when he pulled over. So I get into my car and I go over and I grab him. I rough him up a little bit, not much, just he was putting up a fight getting into the car, right? So I give him a hand getting into the car, and by then the police are coming, and Reggie and a couple of more cop cars show up, and they're all walking over towards the car, and this guy here is yelling and screaming and threatening to kill me and everything else. And I look up at Reggie and I said, Reggie, give me a minute to talk to this fella, will ya? And he said, sure, and he called the rest of the cops over to him, and they were all facing the other way. And while they were facing the other way, I beat the crap right out of him and broke his arm and everything, eh? Then I hollered to Reggie. I said, yeah, he's ready now. One of the cops comes over and looks at him and sees him all bloodied up and everything else, and asks him, what happened? The guy looks at me, looks at the cop, then stares at the ground and says, I fell. But it was funny, that's how it was back in the day. Like, we'd be speeding for the police, I never got a speeding ticket. I sped all the time. If I said I needed a couple of minutes to talk to somebody, they knew exactly what I was talking about, and they'd look the other way while we did it. And that's just how it was. But those days, there was the crew. And the crew was me, Donnie, Bubbins, Roland, Todd McLennan, Robert Betwick, JJ, and we had each other's backs, and we hung out together, and whenever anybody was in trouble, guaranteed at least two of us would show up, if not all of us. And it was a great time, a real great time. Well, anyway, thank you for letting me share this story, and maybe I'll share more like this. Have a good day. Bye.